Okay, today I want to talk about the upcoming FPL Fight Club tournament. It's supposed to be tomorrow, with today being September 24th, so the tournament will be on September 25th. It is supposed to be at 4 p.m. Pacific, so 7 p.m. Eastern. There are 4 teams going into this tournament, and there are supposed to be 3 pros, 1 content creator type person, community member, and 1 up-and-coming player. But there's a little bit of a caveat, and I'll get to that when I get to the team, I guess. I think this is supposed to be a monthly series, so this first one is just for NA, but in the future, I think they're supposed to move to the other regions of FPL as well. And I don't know if all the main regions of Siege have FPL. I know, like, I think LATAM has it, and Europe has it, and NA has it. I'm not sure if there's an APAC one. I don't know if, yeah, I just don't know if there is or not. So I guess let's look at the teams, but just really quick, I wanted to ask, if you watch my videos regularly, do you think that they're becoming too long? Like specifically, I guess the recap and the prediction videos. Like, should I try to make them snappier, kind of thing, cut down, and maybe I could do like maybe a short video where I just go over the results in the recap videos, and then I have a longer one where I talk about analysis a little bit, something like that. Let me know what you think. Yeah, are they too long, or do you like the length, or what? Because I think the last one, the recap was like 25 minutes. And I'm not sure how long the last predictions one was. But okay, let's get into the teams. Like I said, 4 teams. They play best of 3s. It is single elimination, and I'm not sure what the bracket looks like. I don't know who plays whom. But Team Alpha, right? So we have Rexen, Rampy, and Achieved. These are all the pro players. And then we have Kickstar. I mean, one of the probably the most well-known caster in Siege. And then Sykesies, who plays on Nocturnes Gaming. They're a Challenger League team, and I believe he was a T3 player previously, and now he's on Nocturnes. I don't know much about him because he just joined Challenger League, as far as I understand, and they haven't played a game. I think Nocturnes had a bye, and so I think this weekend they play also, so I don't know how his games line up with this. Okay, 1 of 2 members of Nocturnes that's in this tournament. So this looks like a pretty strong team, but honestly, every team looks pretty strong. Having as your content creator, community member type person, Kickstar, used to be a pro player, is still a very good player, not of course as brushed up as he was in the past, but still I'm sure he'll be great. Rexen, one of the most fearsome entry players in the league, if not a bit inconsistent. Achieved, IGL for TSM, and just a good entry player. And Rampy, generally in the past was one of the entry players for SSG, but now I think a little bit more of a flex player perhaps. And let's move on to the next team. We have Team Bravo. We have Bolo. Everybody knows Bolo. Flex player for TSM. We have Ri-Fi. Riley, a streamer. I think she's under an org. It might be TSM, but I don't know for certain. I think because she's on this team, though, I imagine the team's a little bit disadvantaged because you'll see the other teams have as their content creator person, which is who this is for this team, are all former pro players. So I don't know how good or bad she is at the game, but not a former pro certainly means you're probably not as good as the other players. But okay, who else? Hot and Cold, just like the star of the NAL right now, maybe not at this exact moment, but for the last 2 stages, probably the star, yeah. Gomez, who plays on Aerial Arise right now, he was on a different team, I think, last stage, but I don't recall which one. I think he generally plays entry, but looking at his stats, he plays like a lot of smoke on defense. And his team, the entry kills were like spread out, so I don't know if he's an entry. I think he's on entry. Anyways, and then Thomas, who was on XSET and is now on Mirage, and generally plays like somewhere between support and flex. He'll play some hard reach, but he'll play some other stuff, which I guess makes him sound like a flex, but you know, in arbitrary roles, anyways. So that was Team Bravo. Let's look at Team Charlie. We have Fultz, King George, Yaga, Marmalade, and Kino. Fultz, just generally one of the best players in the NAL. As long as he's been in it. King George, one of the biggest streamers for Siege and a former pro player. Yaga and Kino, 2 members of Oxygen. In the past, Yaga was on entry and Kino was on support, but they've mixed it up this stage, so it's a little bit unclear, I think, what their roles are right now. Like, Kino's kind of on entry flex or whatever, and Yaga still seems like he's sort of on entry flex, but he plays hard reach sometimes, but usually just the ace. Anyways, the roles are a bit mixed up. And then Marmalade, who is on the same team as Sykesies, who we saw earlier on Nocturnes, and she, I believe, is a support player. So, I mean, yeah, another good team, and they, of course, had the advantage of having 2 people currently on the same team. I imagine it gives you some sort of boost. And then for the final team, Team Delta, Sky is Silent Sentry, Grixer, Hyper, and Goddess. I mean, another killer team. So this is the one that's a little bit weird because I don't know which one of these is supposed to be the up-and-coming player or if they just decided that they wanted to do this instead. As far as I understand it, Silent Sentry, maybe he plays T3 or something, but I think he's a streamer. And then Goddess, former pro player, currently staff on Sonics, but I think she also plays in like, the CCS Women's League where I think I saw the stats, but I couldn't find them again. But she was just so far above everyone else. I mean, with everyone else just being like borderline amateurs, and then she being like a previous pro player. And then I think she played on that team with, I think it was called like Goo Goo Dolls with Marmalade, and I think they won. Okay, and then Hyper and Sky's not currently on the same team anymore, but they played with each other for quite a long time on Dark Zero, Hyper still being on Dark Zero. So it looks like yet another mean team. Sky's a very good player, and he's been playing support recently. So I think it could be a little bit of an advantage because I think maybe one or two of the teams don't really have a support player per se. And Sky doesn't have to play support, but he's been playing it recently, so he shouldn't have a problem doing it. And then Grixer and Hyper, that's got to be a mean entry duo. And then I think back in the day when Goddess played on like Cloud9, she was a support player, so maybe she'll be doing that. And I'm not sure about Silent Sentry. So those are the 4 teams, and again, I haven't seen the bracket yet, so I don't know if it's A versus B, C versus D, or if it's like A versus D, or A versus, I don't know who plays whom, as I said earlier, but should be good games nonetheless. It should be a fairly quick tournament because it's just single elim, so it's just going to be 3 matches, so it's going to be 2 of the teams versus going against each other, and the other 2 teams going against each other, and then the winner of those play each other, and that'll be the end. They're playing for $2,000. I think for the whole team, so I guess $400 a piece, but everyone is supposed to be streaming this. That's on each team, so that should be cool. And then it might be on a centralized channel, but it's also being co-streamed by Pengu and by Super. So I mean, Pengu he might be the biggest Siege streamer. I'm not sure, but former pro player, one of the absolute greats of Siege, maybe the greatest player to ever play the game, depending on who you ask. And then Super, current IGL and captain for the Sonics, and he will be co-streaming it, or well, he'll be co-streaming it, and on his stream he will have the FPL Renegade, known as Drip Bulin, joining him. So wherever you want to watch it on each person's stream, or if you want to watch on one of these co-streamers, should be fun, should be cool. Every team has an SSG player, which is kind of funny, and then there's like 2 auction players on the same team, and then there's a Dark Zero player, 2 Sonics players, a Mirage player, and 2 TSM players. Yeah, Achieved and Bolo. So yeah, that's gonna do it. Just quick one for today. So again, let me know if you have any feedback, like I asked for at the beginning of the video. If you have any opinions, and it can just be about anything in general. It doesn't have to be specifically about what I asked. Any way that you think I can improve these videos. But that's it. So this was, FPL Fight Club. And once again, going down on September 25th at 4 p.m. Pacific time, and that'd be 7 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, I will catch you in the next video tomorrow.